Yeah, what's happening? How we doing, team? What's good? What is happening? Do we have the right microphone right now? Yes, we do. How we doing on this fine Thursday afternoon? Hopefully all good. Guys, we've got some new content coming this afternoon. We're just going to make a thumbnail for it. And we'll be rocking. So how is everyone? Let me know. I'd love to know how you're all doing. What's going on, Jacqueline? Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, hello, 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 hi. How are you doing? What's up? Welcome. Oh, that's the chat box. I wondered. Say hello back. Wow. Morning. What's going on? Let's just delete that. We don't need that, do we? Let's get rid of the chat box. Here we go. Good afternoon. Yeah, that's it. Good afternoon to you. I hope you're well. So, today is Thursday. And we have some news coming in about an hour's time. So anyone in the chat right now, there is a minor delay on YouTube. I think it's the way the streaming software set up. So I'm not a rude person. I will respond to you guys. You just got to give me, just give that delay. I think it's like a 10, 15 second delay. So just give that delay a bit of time. Good work. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. So one of the points we're looking at today is this expansive move on Euro. Now, it didn't actually give us a direct entry from here. The last entry we had was down here. So last entry was this point right here. This was a run of the low. Gap opened up. We used that gap to ultimately get the Orion entry from it. But now we're expecting that continuation of the bias. Yeah. So let me get actually the bias. What is 1 plus 1? Need help on my homework? It's 3. So let me get this working for you guys. 1 second. Here. I'm just going to add a new thing. 1 second. Listen, I appreciate you being in the stream, but I'd also appreciate if you didn't spam the chat. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Let's see here. 1 second. Okay, we are live. So how's everyone's week been so far? I hope your week's all been good. I hope everyone's been tracking the markets responsibly and trading with the appropriate risk. Let's have a look at some of the other pairs here. So yesterday we were talking about the potential expansive nature of the Japanese yen pairs. But before that, we actually had the Japanese yen every 30 seconds. Yeah, maybe I will actually. But we have actually had some of the Japanese yen news come out. So the Japanese yen news was that the government is going to buy back 20 billion in government bonds. So obviously that has a direct effect on the currency itself. Now, initially we thought it was going to bring Japanese yen weakness and we were going to see these drive higher to the upside. But we've actually seen price weaken up. Now, I believe that's because you're ultimately using the same currency to buy up those bonds. So it takes liquid out of the currency and liquid more into bonds, right? So it's a bit of a double-edged sword. But we're still bullish. We're still looking for those bullish expansions. My week's been good. Been in one of my accounts, just waiting. I'll pay down. Love it. Love it. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. So remember, if you're not already a member of the Discord, then jump in the Discord. The link is down below. I think it's down below, or you have to click the 3 dots in the top right if you're on mobile. Depends how you're viewing. If you're viewing on obviously like PC horizontal format, you'll find it down below. Okay, so we're trying to okay, let's go here. Stream settings, cool. Okay, what we're also gonna do okay, as requested before, could we please not spam the chat? If you do spam the chat, you will be removed from the chat itself. So just be respectful of others and the chat, and obviously the stream. Yeah, delete. Let's delete that. Cool. Okay, so we had the Euro Japanese yen as well as the same point, and we spoke about this yesterday. When we got to the daily time frame, we said about this high. We've contacted this high, which is a high volume high on the daily time frame, and when price hit this, it failed to close above and rejected relatively heavily. And we said that this could lead into a pullback into some deeper points of liquidity. Now, we gave you those deeper points of liquidity and we showed you where they are. So we're still looking for that. But we could just come down to some of these short-term points and push higher. But the main thing is we don't predict price action, do we? No, we execute off of what our system tells us. I think I'll buy a challenge with FTMO. Just had a few funded PIP accounts, which I'm not happy with. Entering drawdown every trade, weird spreads, etc. Yeah, some funded companies have they use weird brokers and they have weird rules. It's sort of what drove me back to just trading with my own capital again. Because at the end of the day, you need to have the best environment to trade within. And if you don't have the best environment to trade within, you're always going to be on the back foot. And you don't want to be on the back foot. You don't want to be on the back foot. So let's go to the 4-hour chart here, and you're going to see we took out this low, right, which is a high volume low. And this is what's telling me that probability is that we're going to expand again. Now, of course, we might not, and we could come down to this point. And this point would ultimately offer another entry to the upside. But like I said before, we don't spend our time predicting what price action is going to do. Now, notice here. Notice here. if you have a run of a 4-hour low, then you will look for an entry point, right? And there's actually a perfect entry here. Now, I didn't notice this. I didn't take this trade, but that is a perfect entry, and it's exactly the same as this. And like I said before, don't just take my word for this. Learn the system, go and backtest it. When you backtest it, you're going to see the relevance of it yourself. There's actually a beautiful TP. I didn't even see that. There you go. That's nice, right? That's been running so well. So well. So we're looking for a continuation now. Euro Japanese yen. I think we're going to come down a little bit lower, to be honest. I don't think we're going to hit this low point. Sorry. I don't think we're going to hit the high point. I think we're going to come down and hit the lows. I do expect a potential move for something along the lines of this, where we drive down, 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 and then maybe we push up a little bit. That's what I think we're going to see. I'm actually kind of surprised I missed that completely, to be honest. It was right on New York Open. It's almost too perfect. Just going to share that with the Discord. It's a great example. So yesterday we spoke about the potential sell-off area here, pre-FOMC, and then from the FOMC we sort of just had price, chopping around, delivering that classic high-impact news event sort of price action. But we are bearish, and we do think this is going to continue to come down now, taking this target low. And I believe we have another low yet. Here and here. They're the other points, so we're looking for price to target now. So remember, chat, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that sub button. I appreciate it. Please don't tell me we missed another entry here. As if we actually missed another entry. What the fuck was I doing? Or actually, no, wait, I think I know why. Yeah, that's why. So the high was here. That's what we'd be targeting. And it doesn't give us our 1 to 3. That's why we didn't take it. I remember there was a reason why. There we go. But the point of entry is right here. Like I say, learn the system, backtest it. Don't just take my word for what I'm showing you here on the charts. Everything I show you is designed for you to pick up, follow, and then apply yourself. We don't breed sheep here at Pip Surfing Society. What's going on, Demi? We don't breed sheep. We teach shepherds. Guys, we're back on TikTok this afternoon. 2:30, we've got a TikTok live for 1 hour. So make sure you can join us by following the account that's down below, and you'll be able to be in that live stream. TikTok is by far the better platform to stream on. They're just so strict with what you can and can't say. And if you dare sniff at the idea of talking about brokers or talking about anything that's remotely close to a financial institute, then they shut you down. Do you have a track record with your records over months, win rate, RR, etc.? Yep, I got all of the backtesting receipts that you could ever need. And the reason I show you backtesting is because it's the same rules that you'll trade live with. Now, there is no point in ultimately doing something if you don't have evidence to back it up, right? So all of my students that learn this system are already, now I know Dammy's one of them, like literally Dammy's like 2 weeks in and he's already seeing a consistent profit curve from his results. So I always say this: don't believe what I'm telling you or showing you, because anyone can doctor documents that say you make X amount of profit. Listen to what the students are saying. Listen to what the students are showing you. Test it yourself and you will see the outcome. I've got a splinter in my hand. I don't know how, because I don't ever have contact with wood. Damn thing. Yeah, right. Show you one of the. I'll show you one of the 10K accounts. There's an 8-month receipt here from one of the 10K accounts. See, 8 months, 62 trades, net profit 12, gross profit 16, so giving back 4K of that. And you can see there's the results. Average loss, average win. Yeah. That's sorry, not a God's sake. What the hell am I saying? 100K account, not 10K. 12.8% return. Look at this. So I've got a bullish entry it's coming through here on CAD JPY. I don't think that's right. CAD JPY. Oh no, it is right. Is it right? Nah, that's not right. Nah, that's not right. So I've got a system here. This is completely automated, and it's the Orion trading system completely automated, and it gave an entry here for some reason. I don't know why it's given that entry. That's not correct. Obviously, this is a in development indicator, so it doesn't give you all of the correct readings. I mean, like this, it's not correct because there's no volume there. But I'll show you the here. Euro JPY here. I know traders who make 100 plus per month with average returns of 5% per month. Nice. Here, See the way the entry's highlighted, the point we spoke about earlier, it's highlighted by our system. So you can pretty much just apply it to an indicator. Because it's so well rule-based, you can literally just write an indicator for it and it just does it. Dammy, are you in this one right here? I think you are. How much returns is possible consistently? It really depends, because see again, you see why this highlighting it here? It's not, it should be here. I don't know why it's there. It should be here. That's what Dammy's in right now. Dammy's in this trade. And this is another thing. Where I know the rules that these students are using, I know the trades they're taking. So the trade you're taking is here, with your stop loss above the high. Right here. And you're aiming for the low. Yeah? That message looked really stupid. Sorry, I've written the second part in the same message. No, you're good. You're good. No, you're good. Is this the trade you're in, Dammy? Dammy's about to hit TP. Which is a 4.9R. Also, the answer to what's... you have to apologise, it's fine. But what's the average return? It's completely dependent on a couple of different things. It's dependent on how much you're risking per trade, what your account size is. But overall risk to reward, it's really, really subjective. I mean, using 0.25% risk, excuse me, over the space of a year on one pair, I know that the most consistent sort of stat you're seeing is like 10% to 12% per year return with 0.25% risk. Obviously, if you double down on that risk, then it's a 24% return. If you quadruple down on it, then it's a 36% return. And obviously, you're getting towards the 50% in a year with a 1% return. But as I've said before, that's with one pair. So if you're applying the same system to multiple pairs, it of course amplifies that result. And in turn amplifies the drawdown, amplifies the amount of entries. You know, there's a lot of other things that come into it as well. That's awesome. So Dammy, how long have you been learning this system for? How long have you been applying the system, should I say? Because I know it's not that long. I'm in a Euro USD short right now. Was looking at GU as well. Only entered EU. Yeah, it doesn't hurt to only enter one. Because if you overexpose yourself... But I don't trade the same system as you though. Yeah. And this is the thing. I'm actually bullish on Euro. So yeah, I joined last week. That's actually ridiculous. I'm not going to lie. That is ridiculous. Damn, if you could do a little post in the Discord, that would be awesome. You know, just letting everyone know how long it's taken you to start taking trades like that. Because people look at this trade, and we've had it before. People join the live stream and they go, good one, good artwork, you know, good one. When, like I said before, you don't have to listen to me. You can just listen to the people that are using the system. So that's a beautiful little TP right there. So Euro GBP, we're still looking for this to expand to the upside. What I am going to do is I am going to turn off the alert for that. I'm going to turn this off. And I'm also going to turn this off. And this off. Awesome. Let me turn this off too. Cool, there we go. OPEC discuss pausing output hikes from October. just in from my financial just in from financial juice. So Dami, you ready for the TikTok stream today? I hope you are, my friend. What I'm also going to do, Dami, is I'm going to give you moderator role. I'll give you moderator role here, and I'll give you moderator role in TikTok. So what that does, it allows you to mute individuals, change the chat to a certain type of chat. It allows you to just help manage the stream a little bit. Now, the reason I'm going to give you moderator roles in TikTok is because we need to be super duper careful, because TikTok is so sensitive. Like, I'm not the only person that's reporting it. It's so sensitive that they literally will mod you for literally nothing. And what we don't want to do is lose our account again. It's just not worth it, you know. So what I'm going to try and get really is a couple of mods that know the system, know the trading system, and know the things that we're kind of not allowed to talk about, like brokers and stuff like that. So then you can help answer the chat rather than me saying it and getting banned. Which is ridiculous. I have to do that. Like, it's ridiculous I have to do that. But it's, you know, it's one of those things. I'm going to post a picture of your trade that you just spoke about, Demi. So remember, guys, the main thing is this. Collect data on the system that you're using, and collect enough data that you don't ever doubt the system that you're trading. You don't ever doubt the system you're trading. Let's see here. Okay, so what are we looking at for the rest of the day? So we have potential bullishness on UJ. We have gold that we're still looking to go bullish here. Although we don't have any local points of liquid to focus on, we still have the same bias. And the same thing here for USHF. Still looking for a continuation down into these lower points. We hit that and pinged. We pinged off of that. Potential to go lower. Yeah, we are bearish. We are bearish. But you always have to look at it like this. If we're seeing a reaction like that off of a liquid point, then you could well see the same reaction off of the opposing liquid point. This is why we use the 2 points of liquid to bounce off of each other, and we use one to enter, one to exit. If we have an overall expectation that price action is just going to keep going and going and going and going, then our system itself loses relevance, because without pullbacks we can't take entries, and without pullbacks we won't hit those external points of liquidity. So it's okay to aim for them. You can aim for them if you like, but the further you go with that TP, the less probable it gets that you're going to reach that target. That's why we always target the points that hold the most relevance for us, which are the points of liquidity that we have referenced before entering the trade. So that's always the thing to sort of keep in mind. One of the tricks that one of my students on the lower time frame, what he does is he'll wait for price to hit here, right? And then he'll move his stop loss all the way down to like here. So then if price decides it wants to keep running, he makes extra money. If it doesn't, he gets taken out with a slightly less profit than he would have had. But sometimes he does actually really well with it. And then the same thing happens. If it moves down lower, he'll move it to TP, and it ultimately just trail price down to squeeze every single bit out of that move that he's captured. I personally am not that way inclined. I'm just a get in, get out kind of guy. But, you know, it's each to their own. I've said this before, you know, trading is a completely personal thing to do. If you prefer to trail your stops, you can trail your stops. If you prefer to get in and out at given points, you can get in and out at given points. We give you the rules, you decide how you apply them. As long as you stick to them and you have data to back up the way you're applying them, that's the main thing. It's always going to be that. So again, euro right here. So we did have the long here. We got taken out of BE on that pretty quickly, to be honest. So we do have in 45 minutes, this is something to keep in mind, 45 minutes time, we have a collection of red folder news events coming out of the US dollar. Well, coming out for the US dollar, not coming out of the US dollar. The initial jobless claims, continual jobless claims, and the 4-week average. So that will, of course, affect the market. Make sure that you're safe when those news events come out. I'll show you them. They're right here. So you can see at the moment, we've got a slightly higher than expected outcome for the initial jobless, slightly higher than expected, or higher than previous, sorry, on initial, higher than previous on continual, and then higher than previous on the 4-week average. So it's always good to understand that you have these, because if in 40 minutes time you see something come up and you go, ooh, this trade looks amazing, you're going to be slapped in the face when red folder news comes and you get slippage on your position. Like, don't do it yourself. Don't do it yourself. You're better off being out of a trade in news that works than in a trade when news comes that doesn't work. Yeah, that's the really, really big lesson that you will learn quick. But take my experience in doing that in the past. Do not fuck with it, because it's not worth it. Okay, it's really not worth it. So Nasdaq yesterday. So look where we've been calling this bullish from. Down here. And then we eventually got there. Now there was an entry given, but it didn't tap in. See it? We ran the low here, which was a 4-hour low. We run the 4-hour low. 15-minute, we opened up a gap. Price didn't tap in, but it got straight to our TP. Now this is another example of it. Look at the way price reacted from that TP. Shot back down. So you wouldn't want to be holding a long trade there when it's coming back down. Not because it's coming down, it's going to take you out at BE, but just because I can almost guarantee your mentality is going to start to shrink when you see price coming down like that. And you'll probably react emotionally, which then means you're acting outside of your trading plan, which is, at that point you're, skewing your own data, skewing your own probabilities. So you have to be safe with it. Just be safe. Be safe. Okay, German 40. I don't know why I have like 2 sets of USD, JPY, 2 sets of GJ, not sure why. So I'd love to know if anyone is looking at a setup to happen right now, or if anyone's in a setup that's happening right now. I know a couple of you are shorting Euro, GU, and GJ, I believe the other one was. If you're watching right now in the background, do not hesitate to come forward, say hi. I'm always happy to talk to new members. And like Dami said, he's been trading this system for a week and he's already catching entries, which is actually insane. Like, that's insane. And I'm pretty sure Dami joined me from TikTok, and then you've sort of just done your own thing in the Discord since then. So that's awesome. Really good work. Right, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break and I'll be right back with you. Alright, let's see what you guys are saying. So, looking at XAU to form some bearish momentum. We are on a pretty high discount, following trend line, descending highs, key resistance. Just hit, only thing is the market is consolidating. Yeah, so I excuse me, apologies. I am bullish on it, but for me to be able to take a bullish move, a bearish move would have to come. So again, this is a great example of the way that one system will show you something like this, and the other system will show you the entry here to here. Yeah, so it's really good. You know, it's always nice to have people with conflicting ideas and different outlooks on the market. But I always say this: the main thing is always whatever works for you, you use. And if you choose to learn the Orion trading system, awesome. Just make sure you test it enough so you have data to back it up. If you're using, like you're saying here, you know, like discount and trend lines and all that kind of stuff, also, it's great as long as you have data to back it up. It's the main thing. It's awesome. It's really good work. Goddamn seagulls. My pal's ringing me. What's that one? Let me quickly answer this call. 1 second, guys. He's put the phone down. Two seconds. I tell you what, there's always going to be a time when someone rings you, you call them back and then they don't answer. It always makes me laugh. It always makes me laugh. You're like, hey, answer the phone. You're like, okay, I'm ringing. They're like, sorry mate, busy now. Classic. Classic. So running down from the top, Euro USD, we are bullish on this and we're looking for it to run into the lows. Looks like it's going to run into the lows. The momentum it's carrying is pretty good, just the same as GU. Also remember this, if you did take the trade from the highs into the lows, do not FOMO into selling again because you think you missed out on 2R or 3R. The main thing is always going to be your system will give you entries if you follow it. If you don't follow it, then you're going to see an inconsistency with it. Yo, what's happening? Welcome. What's good? I think this could be up for cleanest entry of the week, I'm not going to lie. We took where was it? Here, we took this as well, which didn't work out. That took us out. So I was about to say, we don't always take winning trades. We took that, that took us out. But the entry that was given after was much nicer. This one, I didn't take this. That's just an example. Okay, guys. 33 minutes. Red folder news. Be cautious of that. So like I said before, guys, down below my pretty face, you can see my TikTok name. If you follow me on TikTok, we're going to be going live on there this afternoon. Exactly 2:30 is when we're going to be going live. So make sure you follow me down below. And we're also trying to get, so we've got 3K. We got 3K 3K subs here on YouTube. Oh, sweet. Nice one, man. Appreciate it. Well, we're going to be back on TikTok. We got in our last live stream, we got banned for. Shall I tell you exactly what we got banned for? I figured out what we got banned for after emailing about 20 different people at TikTok. We got banned for doing this. Okay, this is what we got banned for. Someone in the chat said to me, because Price was like, I'll show you the exact point actually. It was here. Okay, this is what it was. You see this low right here? Now bear in mind, we had like what 80 people in the live stream at this point. This low right here hadn't hit this low point that I had marked. One of the viewers said that low's already been hit, and I responded with, for my broker it hasn't. Let me have a look at some other brokers. So I pulled up some other Euro charts, and some Euro charts it had hit. So I proceeded to explain how different brokers provide different data, so you're going to see different things. Sometimes price will go lower on one, sometimes price will go higher on the others. And saying that triggered the automatic moderation system, and it banned our live stream. When I appealed it, they denied it. That was what we got banned for. It's crazy. But that's the only thing. That's the only thing. Which is just absurd. The time on this 50 minutes, so we're only going to do an hour stream here today on YouTube, because I've got a couple of things I need to do between 1 and half 2, and then we'll be on TikTok again. Look at the rejection from these lows. Look at that. Let me get this out of the way. Crazy rejection. You don't want to be involved in that. Yeah, so I was watching the videos you were putting out. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Make sure you join the Discord as well, man. If you join the Discord, you've got lots of people in there, like Dammy, who's in the chat. You've got Void. You've got some of our American students in there. You've got some South African students in there. You know, literally international. So it's a great place for you to sort of bounce off other people. But we actually have a new video that I have fully rendered and is... Jesus, you guys hear that? What is that? I always get out the old flight radar. It's a helicopter and a plane flying next to each other over the office. That's pretty cool though. Maybe there's like a bit of filming or something going on. They're literally flying in tandem. Look. Oh, and now they've gone off radar. Oh no, here we go. No wonder it's so loud. So unavailable where they're going and unavailable to who owns them. That's crazy. It's not very often you see that. Love a bit of flight radar. I downloaded it because when I went to New Forest, not the New Forest, sorry, Centre Parks, which was near a airbase. I remember we got up one morning. You were thinking outside your house. One morning we woke up and it just sounded like thunder. It literally sounded like thunder, and I was like, what the hell is that? Anyway, it turns out the American Air Force had brought a load of F-15s over, and they were testing or doing like formation flights over the top of this like wooded area. But where they were doing laps, it was like making this really sort of loud bellowing noise where there was like 5 jets sort of chasing each other. I looked at it on flight radar, it looked crazy. So you know the friend that called me a minute ago and then I called him back, he didn't answer? He's just called me back again. Now that's what you call missed call tennis right there. It wasn't very annoying, it was quite cool to watch to be fair, but it was loud, dude. Like, it was loud. And then at one point they had an AC-130 like flying around, like doing these huge like 10-mile loops. I felt like I was in an active war zone, you know what I mean? Let's see. It was cool to watch though. So for anyone that doesn't know, we actually have 2 other lower time frame entry models that we can apply to the Orion system. One of them is on the 5 minute and one of them is on the 1 minute. Now, they have different probabilities compared to the normal Orion system, and they do have their pros and they have their cons. But generally, most entries that you get with a standard Orion entry, you will be able to find a 5 minute variation of it, which would be like that. Yeah, so you'll see a 5 minute variation of the same entry. Now, it doesn't really give you much more profit or anything. It's just sometimes you'll get 5 minute entries, you won't get 15. Sometimes you get 15 minute entries, you won't get 5. We do dabble with the 1 minute, but not really, because it's just, you have to be a lot more connected and on the charts, which means I can't really focus too much on talking to you guys, which I love doing. I love conversing with everybody. Because I think people join the stream and they think I'm here to like give you signals or like tell you every single aspect of trading, which in reality is not the case. You know, you can join the Discord and you can learn the system and, you know, do all of that good stuff. But it's not really efficient for me to just give you a full A to Z of every single thing you need to do. The reason for that is because if somebody is giving something out for free, it loses its value. It loses its value. So I tell you that I will teach you most of the rules, which I will, but a lot of the work is going to come from you. That's the main thing. See you at 2:30. Yeah, of course, brother. No problem at all. We're ending this live in a few minutes anyway, so appreciate it, Dammy. I'll see you on TikTok, my friend. So, like I said before, if you want to help out, if you want to help out in our TikTok stream, then just let me know. Open a ticket in the Discord, and I will give you mod role in the TikTok, because what we're really trying to do is we're trying to maintain the community on TikTok. TikTok keeps blasting my live streams and telling me that they say what it is. They say it's monetary fraud. It's because the auto detect thinks that when I say you're going to see this on one broker, this on another broker, they take it as instruction to act within a financial environment, which is not the case. I've never told you anything like that. You guys know this. But we want to maintain it. So what we want is a collection of people that are either learning the system, understand the system, but when comments come up in the chat, you guys can address them and help me engage with the viewers. And ultimately, all you need to do is just put them onto the Discord or put them onto the links. And they can learn from there. Outside of Discord, I'm happy to discuss anything. TikTok, I'm happy to discuss anything like, brokers or whatever. And even here. But we need to be so careful. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying not to talk about it on YouTube as much to kind of train myself to not, Where I'm used to just being in a free flow environment where I can just talk about anything. You go to TikTok and it's like being under 24-hour watch from like probation officer or something. Not that I know what that's like, but I can imagine it. How would the Trump unemployment news affect it? Would it make the dollar weaker? Great question. So the results are going to dictate the outcome of the movement. So when we always look at what price action does, we also have a cause and an effect. This is obviously the cause of the price action movement, and the effect will be dictated by what these figures are. So you can see here that we have across the board for all three higher than previous consensus, which is pretty much the prediction. Now, if the prediction comes out wrong and it's even higher, it's going to be negative. If it comes out lower, it's going to be positive. Now, I have a theory. And I know there's 7 people in it right now, or there might be more or less. Let me see, 1 second. Okay, there's 8 people in it right now. I want every single one of you to give me your opinion on this, because I think this is a topic that no one's really covered before, and I'm really interested to see what other people's thoughts are on it. So, you have a collection of news outlets, and this is my FX books, by the way. Financial Juice is by far better, but this is just a much cleaner format. So here's my theory, here's my thought for the day that I want you guys to have a little think about. If we have a collection of economic-based news platforms that make predictions on the potential outcome, giving you an overall consensus. Obviously, not all of them have any effect, but a lot of them collectively will give their predictions, and that's what the market braces for. So when the market braces for something, it generally is like it's like a pre-news prep. So it's expecting something to happen. So because the consensus is we think that we think the news is going to be better, for example, for the dollar. Surely what these collective sources can do is make predictions on one side or the other. So you could have a previous result. Okay, you can have a previous result, and then you can make a really outlandish estimate and say it's going to double. And everyone preps for it to be really bad, but then it comes out, let's say, neutral or a little bit higher or a little bit lower. Surely the predictions will dictate the reaction to the actual data itself. So what I'm saying is, if these 3 were predicted to be lower than previous, and then it comes out slightly higher than previous, the market is going to see that as a negative effect. Whereas if it comes out lower than the consensus, the market's going to see that as a positive effect. So does the consensus across all of the outlets dictate the potential for market movement, and do they have an effect on the actual result? Or does the consensus bear no meaning at all, and it only reacts based off of previous and new? That's what I'm always seeing, and what I'm always thinking is, if these news outlets did collectively make outlandish quotes, then the result would either seem a lot worse or a lot better. What do you guys think? Or do you think the consensus has no bearing? huge. Huge, huge, huge. Okay, so I'll let some of you guys answer that if you want to answer that. If not, all good. But we're going to wrap this up in a couple minutes' time. We are now... We are now 1 hour, 5 minutes in. So in 5 minutes, we're going to wrap it up. But yeah, that's the thought. That's the thought I'm having. I've always had, sorry, but I've just never really voiced my opinion. Or voiced my views in terms of that. I think it might boil down more to it doesn't have any effect. I just think that everybody is looking at the consensus as like a generalized idea of what may happen, and then reacting based off of how close that consensus is. Okay, so new content coming out tonight, guys. New content. I just need to... Is there one left? I just need to do a thumbnail for it, that's all. Right, guys. Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting one, right? Does it, doesn't it? Is that ridiculous to even think that? I mean, in the way the financial markets move, it wouldn't surprise me at all if they collaborate together to create a potential scenario that ultimately holds no liquid. Markets are pretty dead right now. All of the entries that came were in London. New York may give us some more entries, but we're not there yet. Tell you what I am going to do. I'm going to put my AirPods on charge. Now, the other day, I've always been an Android guy, right? Always. For the longest time. I've always been an Android guy. And I swapped to iPhone at the beginning of the year. Best decision I've ever made. But I bought myself some AirPods, some AirPod Pros. These are game changers, like they really are. Not a paid ad, by the way. These are game changers. And I love them. They're amazing. Like, the transparency mode on them is great. Everything to do with, like, these AirPods are insane. Like, they're so good. There's so many cool features. So many, like, really good just integrations. But the other day I was looking for them and I was thinking, I can't find them. Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? Went on to the Find Me on my iPhone. Couldn't find them. I was just like, okay, it says they're at home, but I can't find them. Long story short, I left them in the pocket of my shorts and my missus put them through the washing machine. And they came out a little bit worse for wear, but I put them in a pot with one of those, you know, like those silica bead things. And I'm guessing all of the moisture's out. But the case is a little bit beaten. One of the headphones has got some marks on it and it's a little bit beaten. But they survived, which I was actually shocked at. I thought that they would die. I know the actual headphones have waterproofing, but the case doesn't. So it's a really... really surprising outcome from that, but I did shit my pants a little bit, even though I got Apple Care. Right, random one to end the stream. It's been an absolute pleasure, as always. It's been an absolute pleasure. We're looking at this for expansive moves, as we stated at the beginning. We've got lots of scenarios that could potentially play out coming into the new session here. But we're going to be on TikTok. If you haven't followed me already, down below you can see my username. Make sure you give me a follow along. We'll be live there at 2:30 p.m. I appreciate every single one of you for joining me. Big love to every single one that hit that like button. Big love to everyone in chat. And I'll see you all very soon. Remember, join the Discord. Stick to your risk. Follow Orion. And always trade safe. Peace and love, guys. I'll see you all.